everyone! Welcome to another video. My name is Gloria. If you haven't watched my first video, it will be linked down below and go watch that. So today I'm going to talk about how to read English books. As always, I made another list of things that I'm going to talk about. Number one, it's very important to give yourself a plan. Stick to a single book when you start. Don't read like 5 or 6 books. I mean, like, people don't do that, but like maybe 2 or 3 books at the same time, because it will be very difficult to keep up with the plot. Like, for my own experience, I can read a lot of books at the same time right now, but when I first started, I could not do that. Like, I would just get messed up and I just give up half my books that I've been reading. And definitely set a deadline for yourself so you know when you have to finish books. You can't just drag a single book along for a whole year, because that won't be beneficial at all. Number 2, know your level and get the book that fits your level. There are a lot of books out there. There are a ton of books out there, but a lot of books aren't like fit for you. I'm not saying that to be mean, but truly, there's a lot of books that I can't understand right now. Find books that fits your level. Find books that like suits your English level. Don't try to read like really long books when you just started learning English, because I will tell you that is not gonna work out. That will not work out. You probably finish that book like 10 years later or something. I don't know, maybe like 2 years. Number 3, it's very important to not push yourself. Don't try reading those long books, as I said. Start with short books, start with children books. Even if you're like an adult, start with children books, because they're easy to understand and they're very fun and interesting, and you can finish them within like a day. Number 4, it is so important. I keep on saying this. It is so important to find books that interest you. If you like read something that does not interest you, you will never finish it. It will be so boring and you would have like a bad impression on English books. I think that's what happened with me and Chinese books, because I like started reading things that was so boring and I just got a really bad impression on Chinese books, and I sort of just stopped reading Chinese books and went into reading English books because I found them so much interesting. And I'm sure there are a lot of interesting Chinese books out there, I just never found them. So definitely, if you have like any recommendations for a Chinese book, write them down below and I'll check that out. It is very important to find things that interest you, because you are most likely to keep on reading that series or that type of books, and then you get a lot of books that you read. Number 5. Just understand that English books are not all classic. They are not all Jane Eyre, all Shakespeare and things like that. Not all poems. There's so many young adults fictions and a lot of contemporary books or fantasies that's so much more interesting, in my opinion. I'm so sorry, Shakespeare. I'm not saying that they're boring. They're really interesting as well. They're just a little hard to read for beginners, and they're really hard to read for me too, because the language used is really different from what I'm used to, and it just makes the whole reading process a lot harder. But keep in mind that English books are not all classics. There are so many other books out there. Don't stick yourself to classic books, even if that's what your teacher says. Just don't. Like, it would be a really hard journey if you start with classic books. Number 6. What I always do is I have a dictionary next to me, so when I read books, I can search up the words and build my vocabulary as I go. I can build grammar by reading those sentences from the book, and I can build my vocabulary from the words in the book. But keep in mind that I would find a English to English dictionary, like not an English to Chinese dictionary, because I think it's more helpful if you define the word in English so you like start to understand English in English, instead of like having to do an extra process of translating it to Chinese, which probably would take you like twice longer than people who just translate straight from English to English. It's just much easier to like think in English and write in English, or think in English and read in English. Number 7, if you are still having trouble reading the books, I would suggest to try reading the Chinese version and get the plot straight. If you have like never read the book or like seen the movie, I would definitely suggest you to read the Chinese version. Even though a lot of people says not to do that, I found that really helpful by reading the Chinese version or watching the movie. So I like know the plot and I can follow along in the book and see how they describe everything, every scene and stuff. It has been so helpful for me. It makes everything so much easier. For example, when I first read Harry Potter was like I would say one of the first books that was like over 300 pages that I read, the first Harry Potter, it took me forever. It literally took me like half a year to read the first book in like 4th grade. I think I had to like circle every single word I don't understand, and I searched up the dictionary, so it took me like an hour to read like 5 pages. It was so sad. Yeah. But after I watched the movie so many times that I like memorized all the scenes and plots and stuff, so it made my reading process so much easier, and I know what's happening in each scene, so it made me want to keep on reading. Number 8. Number 8. I would suggest you to listen to audiobooks as you read too, because a lot of books that I've read, I listened to audiobooks while I was doing other things, and you can be multitasking and it wouldn't like bother you, and you can read the books at the same time. There was one thing I found really helpful by listening to audiobooks is because you hear someone talk, like you hear me talk, you hear someone read the whole plot, so even if you you can't read English that fast or understand it, you can just keep up your pace by listening to audiobooks. You can definitely listen to it over and over again, and maybe that will be a lot helpful too. It would be really helpful if you can listen to it, you know how the words are pronounced, right? And you can hear them speak it, you get the English accent. I'm sorry, I know this will offend a lot of people, but like a lot of Chinese have like accents because they learned it from like someone who spoke English with a Chinese accent. And when the kid is little and they learn English from someone who has like a Chinese accent, I would say, I don't know if this is true or not, but like based on my experience, the student would like normally have like an accent that was really similar to their teachers. So if you listen to audiobooks, you would get like an American accent or like a British accent. So it'd be like pure English and stuff like that. While you listen to audiobooks and read the book, you can memorize a lot of more words, and you can keep up the pace, and you go like the first thing I said, keep a plan, give yourself a due date. It'd be really helpful. And last but not least, if you are still having trouble reading complicated books, but you really want to like read really complicated books or just classics and stuff like that, there are a lot of books that has been abbreviated for English learners, and you can definitely read them. It would help you understand the plot a lot better and be much simpler, and they often times have like definitions. I don't suggest reading this. I've never read this. I've always read the original books because I just don't find it really interesting to read like English learning books when I can't read the actual book. But I know a lot of people who do this, and it has been really beneficial to them. So maybe you'll try that out. After you read the abbreviated version of a book, you can go back and read the actual book, and maybe that'll be much easier, and you can learn a lot of words from it. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you find it really helpful for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a very nice day, and check out all my social medias and stalk me everywhere, I guess, right? Bye! See you guys next time.